Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Colombo. I'm a director of COMAT. COMAT is a company present in the market for over 30 years that focuses on filtration on meat cutting oil. The company has been founded by my business partner, Daniele Cassani, and my father, Giorgio Colombo, and is based outside Milan, a few minutes away from this fantastic exhibition of EMO2021. We want to take a few minutes to introduce our company, explain what we do, and answer any question that you may have, of course. So we have been developing and we build a filtration system for neat oil, as I said. We use a technology which is based on filter aid that can be either silica or cellulose. We develop systems that are that goes from single machine to centralized systems from multiple machines. The company has expanded internationally quite significantly, and nowadays over 50% of our turnovers comes from abroad. The applications are super finishing application in precision machining and automatic lathe application. We're going to talk about it shortly. Over these 30 years, we've built a portfolio whereby over 20,000 machine tools are equipped with COMAT systems around the world. As I said minutes ago, we focus only on neat cutting oil, so we don't focus on machining where emulsions are used and where the quality of the filtration needed is not as high as the one that we can offer. So we really focus on super finishing applications, so lapping, honing, polishing, sharpening, tool making and resharpening, where normally the grinding wheel used are below 100 micron and the filtration required is below 3 micron. Just to get a sense of what we're talking about, while we're talking pollution of the air in the system, that's measured in 10 microns. So we're looking here to filter significantly better than the air that you breathe every day. The players that operate in this market offer different technologies. There are bend filters, there are centrifuge, there are cartridge filters, there are backwash cartridge filters, and pre-coat filters. So we focus on this last technology. We also build cartridge systems, but cartridge systems are produced for the less advanced markets, whereas the players present here, we believe, require a superior level of filtration. And when it comes to comparing the various technologies, this slide wants to illustrate, what are the shortcomings of the other technologies versus pre-coat filters, right? So when you're thinking centrifuge, in reality, the problem with centrifuge is that they do not achieve the level of filtration required. So the red line shows the level of impurity or pollution that goes back to the machine at all times. Cartridges, on the other side, are an effective system, but the essential issue they have is that as the cartridge gets clogged over time, the flow rate reduces. And at that point, the cartridge filter will start to commingle dirty and clean oil to make sure that the machine achieves the required level of flow rate. And so again, this results in a level of pollution going back to the machine, which is not ideal. Main competitor to our system are actually backwash cartridges. Backwash cartridges are cartridges that get backwashed, effectively so revamped at predetermined intervals, and the cartridge is backwashed using compressed air so that it can improve its performance. But as you can see, think of blowing into a flute. When to backwash the cartridge, as you blow into the flute, the air starts to get out of the cartridge fairly soon, and so the effectiveness of the backwash diminishes over time. So as a result of that, the performance of the backwash cartridge also deteriorates at a point where the flow rate is below the one required by the machine, and at which point you have to replace the cartridge. With the system using filter aid, we run filtration cycle, which are predetermined, and every time the filter regenerates, it goes back to the original performance. So basically this allows to have a filtration flow rate always superior to the one actually required by the machine, and as a result of that you see this green line that explains how no pollution goes back to the machine. The key advantages of this technology are therefore, the possibility to achieve very high filtration levels, 3 micron, as we said. This is actually better than clean oil. This means that, if you give me a barrel of oil, brand new, we're going to filter it. The oil that comes out is actually cleaner than the original one, right? And this is scientifically measured in ISO or NIS terms. So in chemical classification of the oil, we can demonstrate that, the oil comes out of the filter cleaner than the original one. Then flow rate, as I said, we can guarantee stable flow rate over time, never commingling dirty and clean oil, differently from our competitors. We do not limit the viscosity of the oil, so we can filter any oil, low viscosity, high viscosity, up to 30 degrees centistoke at 40 degrees. And again, key difference versus our competition that, because of their flow rate issues, recommend low viscosity oil. The system is extremely valuable also when filtering HSS, not only carbide or metal. That's another advantage. And clearly, we can recover a significant amount of oil through this process and through the drying of the sludge that we produce, and we can recover valuable materials. So all the applications where expensive materials are used, through the system you can recoup the material. The system is very easy to run, requires very little maintenance. The running cost is extremely low, and therefore these are all advantages of the technologies over the competition. So why is it important to have a valuable filtration system when machining? Because you want to ensure the superior quality and the consistency of whatever you do of the machine workpieces. You want to preserve the wheels and tools of your machine. You want to preserve the machine itself. The machine is very expensive, and so you don't want effectively the dirt and the dirt and the pollution to compromise the machine. We can increase significantly the lifetime of the cutting fluid. We have certain clients that I haven't changed the oil for 10 years. They're just going to refill the oil that is dispersed through the machining, but the quality remains so high that the oil can be reused for several years. We managed to maintain very stable temperatures using PID technology in our chillers. We can achieve a tolerance of plus minus 0.2 degrees. That clearly is also an essential feature to achieve high quality machining. And as I said before, we can recover valuable materials. The system are eligible, of course, for 4.0, so they can be controlled remotely, and a lot of parameters can be controlled and adjusted from your tablet, your PC, your smartphone, so that you can keep at any point in time the filtration quality under control, and you can, of course, receive notification in unlikely event that something goes wrong. As I said before, there are actually two applications. So the main applications in precision machining, so in all the super finishing application I mentioned before, and so grinding machines, honing machines, lapping, polishing, sharpening. But another interesting application is in automatic lathes. So normally automatic lathes that are also very expensive machine use oil that normally gets recouped by putting the chips into a centrifuge. So the oil coming out of the centrifuge, it's a very contaminated oil with very small particles that are normally left in a tank to deposit on the bottom of the tank, and then next morning you take the oil and you send it back to the automatic lathe. So the oil you're sending back this way is extremely contaminated and will ultimately destroy the lathe over some time. So what we do, we take the oil that comes from the chip centrifugation and we send it through the system. This time is not a filtration that happens in a continuous flow rate, but it's done in batches. So effectively overnight, we can clean a few thousand liters of oil. And so the oil next morning is cleaned again at 3 micron and can go back to the automatic lathe. Speaking about our product range, we have a variety of products. They are modular and clearly follow the size of the shop that you're running. So we have a model that goes from single machine, so that's good for 120 liters per minute in flow rate, and then clearly as the names show, they grow up to 180 for 2 machines, 270 for 3 machines, and so on and so forth, up to centralized systems that can manage up to 8 to 10 machines. Likewise, in the automatic lathe applications, we have systems that allow for 1 up to 20 or 30 lathes. Aside from filtration of oil, COMAT also specializes in air filtration. We are a proud representative of Elbaron, Mr. Systems for the machine industry. So we are the representative for Italy. That's clearly one of the other products we sell. But together with that, recently we have developed something new. So we have added to air filtration, air sanitization. So we now offer a new technology, which is a PCO technology, whereby we can filter the air and sanitize it. Now, this happens through photocatalytic system, whereby a UV lamp hits a catalyst alloy and generate free radicals that allow to effectively decompose the polluted air into water and carbon dioxide by removing entirely the bacteria, the virus, of course, boring SARS, and so to allow for a purified working environment. So these systems can kill up to almost 100% of the bacteria present in the air and can be offered both in a standalone version and applied on top of the air mist filtration systems. So I thank you for the attention. I'm available to take any question, and clearly you are welcome to visit HAL in hall number 2, stand E31. Thank you very much.